Every legend leaves a trace. Some linger in memory, others in things that were never meant to fall into human hands. In the Myths Belief Store, you'll find artifacts, talismans, and relics steeped in the darkness of ancient faiths. Enter if you dare to touch what is forgotten and terrifying. Link in the description. In Slavic beliefs, the night was never just a time for rest. When darkness fell and people shut their windows and extinguished their lights, the roads, fields, and crossroads filled with beings one should never meet. One of the most terrifying among them was the Północnica, the midnight wraith, a phantom appearing exactly at midnight, in the hour when the world falls still and silence becomes so thick you could almost touch it. She is a spirit who does not need screams to kill. Darkness, loneliness, and a person awake when they should be asleep, that is all she requires. In this episode, we explore the story of a being who does not arrive with a roar, but with absolute, paralyzing silence. Unlike the Północnica, who strikes in the blazing sun, the midnight wraith rules the night, the deepest, darkest, most unsettling part of it. She appears exactly at midnight, as if bound to the very rhythm of darkness. She was described as a tall, unnaturally thin woman with long, wet hair resembling weeds pulled from a swamp. Her face was pale as the moon, and her eyes were black, devoid of whites, like two bottomless wells. People said her body cast no shadow, and her presence made no sound, not even the leaves stirred when she passed. Sometimes she took the form of an ordinary, though strangely behaving woman, standing alone on a road, sitting on a stone by a well, or walking slowly along a field path. From a distance, she could look like a lost traveler, a young woman returning from a wedding, or someone seeking help. Only when someone approached did her silhouette begin to change. Her hair lengthened and darkened, her skin turned chalk white, and her eyes sank deep into her skull, transforming her into a true creature of the night. According to legend, Północnica haunted those who remained awake at midnight. Travelers returning from taverns, women waiting for their husbands, children unable to sleep, and even those who simply lingered at the table too long. She appeared on roads, near wells, at crossroads, and sometimes inside homes. Her arrival was heralded by a cold that seeped into the bones and the sensation that the air had grown heavy and thick, as if someone had cut off the flow of oxygen. People claimed that Północnica could sit on a sleeping person's chest, stealing their breath, giving rise to tales of night paralysis and suffocating dreams. In many stories, Północnica was the spirit of a woman who died tragically, often alone, at night, with no witnesses. She could have been a mother who lost her child and could not bear the grief. A young woman who never saw her beloved return. Someone who died on the road after dusk. Her soul, unable to accept death, wandered the world seeking company, revenge, or simply someone who would listen to her whispers. In some regions, people believed she kidnapped children who stayed awake at midnight, taking them into the darkness from which they never returned. In folk tradition, the midnight wraith was also a symbol of insomnia, nightmares, and nocturnal terrors. People believed that if someone woke suddenly at midnight with the feeling of being watched, she was standing in the corner of the room. To protect themselves, people covered mirrors, shut windows tightly, avoided whistling after dark, and never left their beds unmade, for Północnica could slip beneath the covers. In modern pop culture, Północnica appears more and more often, though often under different names: Midnight Wraith, Night Spirit, or Lady of the Midnight Hour. Her most recognizable interpretation appears in The Witcher 3, where she manifests as a ghost bound to the site of her death, attacking precisely at midnight. The motif of the Midnight Wraith also appears in Slavic-inspired games such as Black Book, Thea, The Awakening, Thea 2, and various indie horror titles where she materializes only in absolute silence. In horror and fantasy literature, she appears in works like the Slavic bestiary, Slavic mythology, and modern folklore-inspired novels such as The Flower of Fern, Septucha, and various anthologies of Slavic legends. In films and series, especially those drawing from Central European mythology. Her traits can be seen in nocturnal spirits appearing in productions like The Witcher and in Polish documentaries about demonology. Her presence in modern culture proves that fear of the night is universal and timeless. Północnica fascinates because she embodies what we fear most: loneliness, darkness, and silence that can kill. She reminds us that the night has its own laws, and those who ignore them may pay the highest price. The Midnight Wraith has inspired fear and unease for centuries. But now the question is yours. Is her legend merely a way to frighten children, or an echo of ancient beliefs about spirits that truly walked the night? Is she a demon, a ghost, or a symbol of humanity's deepest fear of the dark? Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us how you interpret this figure. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps the channel grow and brings more dark stories your way. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.